What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about 27 different altcoins today. 27 different requests, price predictions. I'm going to go over the list verbally, and I will not forget to put the list in the description. Last night, I was a bit eager to go to bed, so I genuinely just forgot, but I will not forget tonight. There will be a list in the description along with timestamps. If you don't see it, then that just means that you're watching the video within the first hour that I've posted it. I will go back and edit that in there. I just want to post the video first. It takes time to go through and do the timestamps and put the list in there, right? It's not a whole lot of time, but I mean, if the video, we got 27 requests, it could take me like 30 seconds per one that I'm writing in there, right? So I mean, that'd be like 10 to 20 minutes, something like that. It's going to take me longer the more I talk, so let's just get started here. DPAY is the first request for the faithful citizen. SWFTCoin and JASMY for HSUTube or HSUTube, I don't know. XCN for Thavi Nuon. MBOX for Mohammed El Mensi. He's been eager about that one. Mohammed, we got you. Adam for Antonio Mosby. Lunacy, Luna Classic for Mr. Party Boy. That's Mr. Party Boy to you. TREMP for Joel Katz. KDA for Phenomenal. It's like phenomenal, but Phenoman. Oh, I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it properly. It might be my handwriting. Compound for Chris Wildfong. Jupiter for Caruth Dennis. LTC for Inventious. ALKIMI, it's like alchemy, and ALU for New York Business. XEC for Gromlo Slomlo, I don't know. Gromlo Slomlo, that sounds right. SUI for Mohammed El Mensi as well. He's not as eager about that one, but we're gonna do that one too. It is a request. Caspa for Thomas Keefe. NPC for Marco Izquierdo. ONDO for Casey Chan. Wow Nero for Wow BCH. AXS for Sake Tati. KIZUNA for Matt Mac. CVX for, I don't know if it's Betas or Beat As. It's not Beat Ass, it's Beat As. I don't know, but it's all one word, so Beatus? I don't know. Fetch.ai and GALA for Sake Tauti as well. ABT and PNG for Big Daddy Chet, and that's who we're finishing it up with is Big Daddy Chet on ABT and PNG. So those are the 27 altcoins. That's the list requested. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. You guys, we're going to get into it right now. I got to adjust some settings real quick, make sure everything's good. Yes, you can hear me. I can see. I just turned up my brightness a little bit there, and I'm fixing some things. All right, we're good. Okay. Let's get started. So DPAY, I remember talking about this one, man. It's just so, it's such a weird chart. Like it really is. I mean, it looks good to be just like blunt, like it does look good, but it looks weird. It looks very weird. Just not a factor, and then it is, and then it's not a factor. I wonder when it's going to be again. I would assume that you do see some follow through, that you do continue to grow. Again, assume does not mean it will happen, but I do assume, but probably not. You could find support here. It's not common to find support right here, but I suppose it's more common to find support here than it would be between the 0.5 and the 618. So really why I like this is because you're finding support at previous areas of your all-time highs. So that is significant in my opinion. I do want to take another look on the fib. I'm going to try to blast through these. I'm not going to spend too much time on these, right? But I am going to spend a little bit of time on this one. It's the way this looks, I can't help but think it is going to go lower from both fib perspectives, actually. Maybe down to around 0.0058 to points, yeah, somewhere around there. Maybe just a little bit above that. Perhaps lower. You could go lower. Let's look at the daily, see if that agrees. The weekly definitely looks like it wants to go lower. The daily RSI does look weak. Any moment of strength is short-lived and just a lower high. You did have nice volume, which could imply that you're at the end of your movement down. Let me just show you what I mean. I don't know. Solana is the first coin coming to my head. I don't know if this will show it, but hopefully it does. Get on a weekly here, right? Like here, you had a lot of volume down here. Even the weeks that followed, they were above average volume. You still went lower, right? But you were very close in reference to all this. You're very close. Even on this low, right? This is like your out of all these lows, right, this from top to this low, I feel like that's significant. Yes, this was a low here. It's somewhat significant, but this low is much more significant, in my opinion, longer lived, and you got a lot more volume. It was the first of a couple more lows that came, and you went a lot lower. You had 1 week where you dropped 60% even after that, but still, in a time reference, you're over the halfway point of this overall move down. So I would translate that to DPAY as in you're getting close in a time reference to where your low might be. However, from a price perspective, you might have a lot further to go. I don't really know. My best guess for now, for the time being, I don't know if this is where your low is going to be, but this is where I would believe your next low would come into effect, would be somewhere around the 1272 to the 1618. Being that this is a smaller range here, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw your 1886 and 2272. It seems that you do like that. Actually, we've seen some significance on that on the other fibs to start this video. So looking like 0.0058 is a definite probability, even below 0.005 and down toward 0.0042 or 0.00417, somewhere in there. So things to keep in mind. I don't know how low it's going to go, but I would expect that soon you're going to break this low. It might not be this week, it might not be next week, but I mean, I would think actually within the next 2 weeks you break that low. You could see some relief, right? You might find a little bit of support here on your way down, but I definitely believe that you've got lower to go. So that's DPAY. I spent way too much time on that. We're going to try to breeze through these a little bit. SWFTC, isn't it SWFTC? Swift. Oh, I did TF. I was like WTF. SWFTC. Come on, man. I'm gonna get it right one of these times, I swear. Oh my god. I was like, you ever do that where you breathe in and you go like I don't even know. If you want to play it back, that just happened, I guess. But let's see. Yeah, you're consolidating. I'm not worried about it at all. Yes, you had a bad week. You dropped 21%, man, and you rejected your overboughts, and I'm not worried about it at all. I don't, at this point, expect that you will break this low. I don't. I really, really don't. No, I don't think this is a double top. I mean, I could be proven wrong. Maybe it does go lower. It is possible, but really, let's see. I don't know. I don't think it's hit any. It's a little bit above its 382. I suppose, if it wants to go lower, maybe it does go to 0.0038, maybe. I'm not really expecting that at the moment, though. But I wouldn't be surprised if you went lower in the more immediate term, right? Like maybe back to the bottoms of this area. I don't know if you'll even see this white line or anywhere near it, but perhaps we can call for something like this low daily close or to this low daily close, somewhere in that range, right? Maybe even refine it a little bit to more relative price action. 0.0045 to 0.004 is the range that I would give it. You're at 0.00492 right now, so a little bit down, and then I mean, you're just consolidating, man, until you're not, and then you're ready to move up higher. But yeah, that's my thoughts on SWFTC. I really do think that you're going to hold this line. If not, if you don't hold that line and I'm wrong, perhaps you go down here to 0.00347. Be prepared for that mentally, right? Don't let this price slip you and be like, it went lower than he said it would go, even though he said he doesn't expect it. I should sell and panic sell. No, if I'm wrong, this is a perfect area to bounce from. Okay, and I'm not just referencing this chart, though this was like your most relative like checkpoint, but if you go to the all-time history on, oops, that's not what I meant to do, on CoinX, I believe. It's OKX, that's what it is. This area right here is an area that you've continued to find resistance on time and time again, right? Resistance here, resistance there, all around. You might even go a little bit above it. The reason I'm referencing that is because that's where your like weekly close is, right? But it's an area, I mean, where you tipped even is like an area of resistance, right? So I wouldn't think you would go below this level. I think you've held it as resistance all your life. You're finally above it. You've been consolidating above it. I think you will hold it again as significance, but this time as support. Okay, I keep saying I'm gonna not do not spend too much time on these coins, but man, it's my first video of the night. I don't care how tired I am. I've got a little energy in me, right? Weekly bearish divergence has presented itself 2 weeks in a row. JASMY going down. You're going down, sister, downtown, to the ground. Let's see, if you look at this relative high here, oh, that is not the relative high. This one is. You can see that it comes in line very well with this high point over here, previous resistance point. This point here, first week of existence, maybe, if this is the all-time history for JASMY. If not, still on Coinbase, that is, I mean, somewhat of a significant price area, and you can see that it is for sure here. I would expect, based off this weekly bearish divergence, that you would return back to this range. You probably don't stop at 2.456 cents. Oh, that's kind of cool, 456. At least there is what I would expect. So it's a little bit more to go, but really I think you would go somewhere in this range. What I like to do in moments like this, I don't do it too often on videos, but this is kind of something that I do. I like to take the range. So I hope you can see what I'm doing here, right? I'm going to take this line away. That's like the minimum, okay? So 2.456 cents. That's the minimum. This weekly high close, because that's where the divergence formed, the significant divergence there. But what I like to do is, because we have this designated area and it is a consolidation range, right? You can see it's definitely a consolidation range. You take the high point of the range, you take the low point of the range, okay? Right there, boom. And then you take the midway point and you get rid of all the noise after that, because that's the midway point of the range. The reason why I use the fibs is because, and right now, eyeballing it, that does look like the midpoint. It does, but because it's in a log scale, sometimes the midpoint doesn't actually look like the midpoint. And that's why, from a percentage perspective, you need the fibs, because that's what the 0.5 is. It's the 50% mark of the given range, right? So this is the midpoint. Going back to that, I would think that you hold 2 cents, but you probably go down toward 2 cents, and that's where you're going to go. I wonder, from a low to a high, is there any significance? It's a little bit past the given zone that I would expect. So maybe you don't go down there. That is the 0.5. That is something that I see commonly when interacting with previous areas of consolidation. You find support on the 0.5, but you don't have to. Just like, I mean, you don't have to hold the 6.9, but generally speaking, I don't look for moves beyond that, especially in a consolidation range. So really, I know I just said around 2 cents, but maybe 2.13 to 2.23, somewhere in there. That's probably the range you're going to go to. That's JASMY. XCN, I've talked about this one recently a couple times, so I really won't spend too much time on this, but I'm not worried about XCN at all, you guys. I think it's about to blow up. This is absolutely not the time to sell your XCN, right? You've got a double bottom possibility going on right here, right? You've got lower lows in the RSI with higher lows in the price. Relative to this, you do have a lower low with a lower low, so that's not really encouraging too much, but I think it looks fine. I think that it is fine. And I really like the volume that's building out of these low points here. I like the nice rounded curve of the low here. If we take this low to high, relatively speaking, we interacted with the 618 a bunch, and now we're down at the 786, 886 zone. If we go lower, I doubt we would break this 886 area. I really doubt that we would, right? And that's at about 0.0014, right? I doubt we would break that area. I'm gonna adjust the camera. I guess you guys can't really see me because I'm like leaning in. I'm zoned in here. Get it? Let's see. There we go. Yeah. Maybe. Is this right? I don't know. If you can hear that meowing, that's just my cat, Mufasa, or as I call him, Fasa. It's much shorter and cuter, I think. I don't know. I have this theory, guys. Smaller things are cuter. Apply it to anything, even things that might not seem cute at first. Especially things that don't seem cute at first. Think of the things that are absolutely not cute at all, and now shrink it down to a miniaturized version. Is it cuter? And I can't help but think that the answer will always be yes. Anyways, back to the topic at hand here, you guys. Little distraction there. Yeah, I would bet you'd hold that line. You might even hold this area here. So I am expecting that you hold this area and that you move up. But if I'm wrong on that, you're not going to break below 0.0014. That is like a personal belief that I'm very confident in. Daily RSI is weak. Set up to be good. It just depends if we move up from here, right? And we're not really seeing any life now. The 4 hour is going to be useless. Yeah, it's totally neutral. Yeah, it doesn't look good or bad. It's very neutral relative to this. So it's not giving us anything. We're just going to have to wait and see. And how do we know that we're going to go down here? Well, if we, I mean, how do we know that? Let's see. We just have to get lower daily closes, which we've kind of gotten. But we're getting bullish divergence technically. I don't know. What we would have to see, I would say if we break below 0.00156, yeah, that would probably make me think that we are going to see 0.0014. Man, even on the one that I've already done recently. MBOX. MBOX. Is that right? It is MBOX. MBOX. Okay, cool. MBOX. On Binance. Like it on Binance, man. Never heard of this coin before. And that's why, because it's a very new coin, right? It came out at the end of the cycle, so that's why. Hasn't made a name for itself yet. Yes, I actually like this volume. I love this just nothingness, abyss, death, and just boring, going to nothing. And then you get some life. and you change direction. And as you're moving back down to your all-time lows, by the way, which if you're to buy at any price, the all-time low is literally the best price to buy at, right? Retrospectively. I mean, you don't know if it's going to go lower now. I'm not saying that it is the best price to buy it. I'm just saying this, technically speaking, throughout the whole chart's existence would have been the, well, maybe it's not. Maybe that's subjective, because this would have been a good price to buy. This would have been definitely a better price to buy. I don't know. But if you held on to it, I'm getting too caught up in the semantics of it all. What I'm really trying to say, guys, is I think it's at a perfect area to buy. Weekly RSI is near its oversold zone, an area that you do seem to hold support more or less around this area, just above it sometimes, just below it sometimes, and you are just above it now, so I think that's fair. If we take this relative fib here from a low to a high, you are in the deep extensions. Oh, I'm sorry, no you're not. Low to a high. Okay, you're at the 1414 area. You could go lower, but again, that would just put you down near your all-time lows, and that would just look like a nice double bottom. So you're moving down with volume dying off. It's just a matter of time before you flip this thing and you go up. I wouldn't be surprised if you move lower, though. Daily RSI looks very weak, and that's not a good look from yesterday's close. But you're decaying in volume. You really are. And the 4-hour looks terrible. So this kind of looks like a double bottom. This has the capability, the potential to be a double bottom. Sure, it could just be a higher low here. I don't feel comfortable calling for the low yet, though this could be the low. I would just say, if you're looking to DCA, if you're looking to buy this, it's at its 886. I would feel comfortable DCAing here, even if it does go down to 20 cents. You're at 22.5 cents now. I would just buy more if it went down there, or just throw the whole stack at it now and let it ride, whatever. But I don't think it'll go below that. I mean, it could, but I don't think it will. The price you want to get above is 31 cents. Let's call it 31.5 cents. Get above 31.5 cents, and that will certify this as a low, in my opinion, right? That'll give us the confirmation we need. So that's the optimism side. I don't know if you find a low here, but I would be more than comfortable buying here. You absolutely could go lower. You could even see a slightly lower low, or maybe it's a slightly higher low, or maybe it's a perfect double bottom. Maybe this is the low right here. I don't know. There's not enough for me to see in the chart that would suggest that. But the best I could say is, not financial advice, but I would buy here if I was interested in buying this thing. And just, if any downside came, I would just take that for what it is, because it won't be much and it won't be for long. Atom Cosmos, this one, Antonio Mosby. I actually like Atom a lot. This was a coin that I had a lot of hopes and excitement for last cycle. In the very beginning of last cycle, it became apparent to me that it wasn't going to, not that it wasn't going to grow, but it wasn't going to grow as much as some coins that I was looking at were. And it did good. It definitely did good last cycle, but, relative low here. It's relative high. That's a 40x, man, 41x. But I definitely didn't buy the low, you know what I mean? And I definitely didn't sell the top. But it's definitely a good coin, but there were plenty of coins last cycle that did dramatically more than that. And we want to try to catch those. Don't get me wrong, anybody would love a 40x, but are you going to buy the bottom? Are you going to sell the high, of which both of those are wicks? It's not as easy as it might seem. Atom, looking like it's in jeopardy here. You're at the bottom of this zone. You need to hold this level. If you don't, bad. This coin will be a dead project at that point, in my opinion. That would not be good. So hold this area. I think you will. I do think you'll hold this area. And then move higher. And your next target area really would be at the upper resistance areas of this whole zone. I'd say around 1475. You're at 665 right now. Let's look at the daily. Daily RSI has bullish divergence presenting itself. It's not confirmed. It's not actually printed on there until we get a green day, though. Oh, yeah, I'm hopeful that you won't go lower than this. I'm actually very optimistic that you wouldn't go lower than that. Low to high. Yeah, you're in the right zone, man. If you do go lower to the 618, $6.16, right? That's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. If not, if you don't hold this area and I'm wrong, well, oh man, it's not going to be a good day, and we'll talk about it then, whenever that happens, if that happens. Lunacy. Luna Classic, Lunacy. On Binance, sure. Oversold, double bottom, a lot of volume. Near your oversold zone on the weekly. You could go a little bit lower, right? It looks like a double bottom for now, but you could go a little lower. And if you go lower, I don't think you're going to break below 406337. You could just as well hold this area too. A lot of things look like they have double bottoms right now. Don't be surprised, even if you do go lower, don't be surprised if first you see some relief and then go lower, right? Just because you move up doesn't mean that you're absolved of these lows. But if you want to be absolved of these lows, get back above your 618, above 4 zeros. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, 9, 9. Get above 3 zeros, 1. Get above that. That's what I would want to see. Get above that on a weekly basis, on a closing basis. And let's see there. Okay. I don't really know, man. I don't know if it's going to go lower or higher. I would guess that here I would expect a bounce. But will you get above 301? That's the question. That's your target area. If you can't even reach it, that's a problem. If you can't break it, that's a problem. But if you do break it, no problem at all. You're going to go up from here. This is your low. If not, it's a little bit of a problem because you'll probably just come back to your 886, which isn't that bad. It's still a higher low overall, but that's the best that I got on Lunacy. And just to make sure, yeah, okay. Lunacy. Next one is TREMP. TREMP coin. Okay, well, I don't know when I drew this. I don't know when I did this last. But it looks like I was calling for us to find support here. We went a little bit lower to that next zone, and that's fine. That actually happens. I would assume, or maybe we were down here and I was talking about us going up here for like our move up. I don't know. I don't know when my last video was for this. Anyways, let's talk about this video. I definitely know why I liked this fib, why I chose this, because it seems to be respected even now, right? Bouncing off your 618 area even, or 69 area, I guess. Lower lows in the weekly or daily RSI, higher lows in the price, hidden bullish divergence looking fine. The 4-hour time frame had bullish divergence, and you had that move up. You're finding support on your 886, hopefully. It's too early to say. If you give this 886 up, as in you don't see some kind of recovery immediately from here, and if it's not immediate, at least like move sideways, hover, and then move up, whatever, but more or less immediately. If you don't see some recovery now, you will likely go down to your 61869 zone, which would be about 40 cents to about 35 cents. That's the best that I got. So hold support here. If you do, then you're looking for probably your 1618 as your next target and beyond. 1272, 1618 between about, let's say, $1 to $1.60. But I kind of think you're going to go lower, just with the way that this all looks to me. I think you are going to go lower, down to about, again, 40 cents to 35 cents. The next one that we're talking about is KDA, Cadena, for phenomenal. KDA. Nope, that's not what we wanted to do. What a dump, man. Damn. Yeah, hugged your 618 for a while. Now you're in your 786, 886 area if this is not your low. It just seems to be repetitive, right? They all look the same. 886 would hold. I think 49.5 cents would hold. That could be your low. You might move up. You're in a nice area in the weekly RSI to move up as well. If you do move up, oh, and you got a little bit of bullish divergence going on there too. A little bit. Get a green day, man. Get a green day. Prove that is bullish divergence. Print it. Get a green day today. If not, close here and don't close lower because you're about to relinquish this bullish divergence if you close too much lower. And sometimes that even happens, man. Sometimes you relinquish it, you get that lower low, and that's your low, and then you move up, right? Everybody thinks you need a bottom on bullish divergence or top on bearish divergence, and that's not the case. It's like it happens often enough either way. So if you hold support here, the area that you need to watch is 77.8 cents, 78 cents, something like that. Not only on a 618, a fib perspective, this is your golden ratio. Getting above that would, to me, signal that this is the low or wherever your low may be once you get above here. But also on a price perspective, you had previous areas of resistance and continuous support areas right here, relatively speaking. So breaking above that area would prove to be significant, I think, for the price to continue higher. So things to watch. If you don't hold it here, you might go lower to around like just below 50 cents. But if you do hold it here, you'll move up. Let's get above 70. What is it? 77.7 cents. 777. Let's get above that, and then we can talk about it. Do another request when that happens. Compound. If it goes down, don't worry, right? It'll just come back up. But compound, let's see. Double bottom, I like it for sure. The daily RSI does look weak. You have a position of bullish divergence presenting itself right now, but it's not confirmed until you get a green day. I'm repeating myself on all these, man. It's like the same analysis. It's almost like these markets are connected or something, right? Like it's like every crypto moves together. Most of them do. Not always, right? There are those outliers. You look for those outliers. Those tend to be good, unless they're moving down, right? Then that's not as exciting. Okay, nothing really here, right? Compound's just moving sideways until it's not. I don't think it'll go lower, but it could go lower and it would be fine, but I don't think it will go lower. I think it'll hold this price. The area that we're looking for to break is $61. We're at 47.42, so don't even talk to me about this, you guys, until we're above this green line right here. I don't even really want to talk about it because there's nothing to talk about. It's just the same shenanigans. Not even since then. It's the same, man. We're just in the same range. So really we need to get above, I said 61, but let's get above 66. Let's get above 65. Let's get above this previous area of support, resistance, right? Let's get above the green line that we held as support, that we're holding as resistance now. Get above that. It's at 65. What's this green line? What's this magical green line? It's not, it's the 123. It's not that magical. I mean, I think the sequence of 1, 2, 3 is there is magic to it. Magic, coincidence, whatever, relevance maybe is a better word for it. But you just put a moving average on there. For most of you, if not all of you, it won't say MA. For me, it says MA, but TradingView has this thing where when they update things, they grandfather you in. So I put this indicator on here when it was just the moving average, MA. But now if you go to indicators, you're like, why can't I find this? It's now moving average simple. So it'll probably say SMA. Let's see. Yeah, SMA. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. Why does it say SMA and MA? Why do they look different? It's because, again, I've had this one on there. It saves it on there. It's grandfathered in. So that's just how they do it, which I think is nice, that they don't just erase the settings that you have. You're allowed to have them as long as you had them before they updated it. I think that's kind of cool. But in case anybody gets confused on that. So, yeah, compound, don't talk to me till we're above the green line, man. Daily 123. Jupiter, this is one I feel like we don't talk about enough, and it's kind of a superstar this cycle, man. Jupiter, if what's good for Solana is good for Jupiter, and it makes sense that it's taking a dump because Solana's taking a dump, right? What's good for Solana is good for Jupiter. What's bad for Solana is bad for Jupiter. Let's see if there's more price action. Nope, there's not really. We're going to use this. Okay, so from the relative low here to the relative high. Oh, that's not it. There we go. 61869 area. I would expect that you hold support here, probably. Wouldn't surprise me. You got a little bit of bullish divergence presenting itself. It's not confirmed until you have a green day, of course. I think you hold support here, man. And I know I was saying they run together, Solana and Jupiter, but Jupiter could move up from here, and Solana they're not tethered together technically. Let's actually look and see if we can figure that out. Correlation coefficient. Solana. Apply. Well, I take it back. They are very correlated. If Solana keeps dumping, you're going to keep dumping. And I actually do think Solana is going to keep dumping, man. Unfortunately. I do. I mean, to be fair, immediately, like right now, it wouldn't be crazy to hold this area for support. Maybe you go a little lower. Maybe you bounce right here, whatever. But it wouldn't be crazy to hold this area of support, find a lower high, right? And then go down. So you might see Jupiter recover a little bit, but wow, man. I wasn't expecting it to be that tethered. It just shows, because right, the only relevance Jupiter has, it wouldn't be significant at all without Solana, right? And Solana would not be as useful, it would not be as prominent without Jupiter either. It just makes sense that they're one and the same on this correlation coefficient. That's crazy. You don't see things look like this after this much. It's not a whole lot of time, but you don't see things look like this normally, right? Sometimes it's a fluke, but that's you're at 100, man. You're like, that's crazy. I'm sorry, I'm a little nerding out there. So what do I think of Jupiter? It's going to move up soon. It's going to move up probably with Solana, probably a little bit, and then move down. I don't think that's its actual low. I had hopes that it was, but you know what? Actually, since we are respecting this area, 61869 area, right? That's the area that we're in now. You'll probably move up to your 0.5 or your 382. As high as your 382 would be around $1.10. That'd be the highest that I could see you going, but you might hold 92.5 cents as resistance and then move lower. How low are you going to go? We don't know. You genuinely could see new all-time lows with this thing. It's possible. We don't know yet. Let's see how it interacts. Let's see how it does. I will say, if you can bounce out of here, right, whether you find resistance here or you find resistance here, not breaking through this zone on the first attempt is a good look, but you did break through the 618. Oh, I guess not on your first attempt. Hey, that would be a good look. That would actually give me a lot of hope that you don't see new lows, right? Like you don't see new all-time lows, but you'd hold this area. But nonetheless, as of now, it might not be this week, it might not be the month of July, but soon, sometime this year in 2024, you'll be lower than these prices and you'll be down below 62 cents. Between 61.3 cents to 53 cents, somewhere in there. That's Jupiter. LTC for Inventius. Yeah, LTC. I did a video on this one recently too. It's boring, man. This is one of the more boring coins in the market right now, right? If it goes lower, okay. It's not going to go dramatically lower. Low to high here. 61869 area, looking for a double bottom maybe. That'd be nice. If not, you know, perhaps you go down to $66, perhaps you go down to $62. I'm not expecting that personally. I do expect that you'll move up soon. You got bullish divergence presenting itself with the day, so you're down a little bit, but there's not a lot of volume. You're moving down, and you're moving down, and volume's picking up actually. Relatively speaking, it's not, but today we still have 19 hours and a half left in the day, so the volume could come. Not seeing it so much on the 4-hour. That 4-hour looks terrible too. It looks very bad. Oh yeah, just all the short-term time frames look bad. I don't know. Request this one again. Inventius or anybody who wants to see Litecoin being done, request this one again when we're either below $71 or we're above $74.50. Until then, I actually don't feel comfortable saying. I suppose I would feel comfortable saying it holds this area and it moves up from here, based off of like the overall sentiment of the market right now, or like the directional heading that I see happening soon. If I'm wrong on that, maybe you see some kind of flash crash and then you move up. I don't know if you're ready to break these highs yet, but I do think you'll see prices above $80. Whether you move lower after that remains to be seen. I don't think you will at this point, but again, if you close below 71 bucks on any given day, request this one. Request this one. That's the best that I got for that. ALKIMI. Is this right? New York business, ALKIMI. We're going to use this one. There we go. I like where you're at. I like where you're at right now. I would buy here. This looks nice. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Low to high. I think it's hilarious when I say that, and then I get comments where people are like, C-Zar, thank you for your financial advice. I'm like, I don't even correct them in the comments. I'm like, yeah, no problem, like whatever, you know, because it's obviously not financial advice. Like I know people are just being silly, or maybe they consider it as that. It shouldn't be considered as that because it's not financial advice. It's literally just my opinions. I don't own the majority of the coins that we're talking about here, right? I'm just giving you my thoughts on where I think the direction's going to go. What you do with it, what you do with your money, it's different than what I would do with my money, right? I'm giving you my opinion, but I'm not telling you what to do because I'm not a financial advisor. But I don't even need to go over all of that because, I mean, it's just not necessary. That whole you need to disclose if you're a financial advisor, that's actually been proven to be false. I could even say this is financial advice and it wouldn't come back to me, right? Like I'm clearly not a financial advisor because I don't get paid for it. It's not a paid service. I don't accept payments from anybody. So I don't know. That all stemmed from the fact that I think it's funny. I think it's funny whenever people say, thank you for your financial advice. I feel like people are being funny, right? But you never know. You never know. Maybe people are trying to be sneaky, but I don't think they are. Anyways, man, I'm talking way too much. for how long this video is going on. I like where you're at in price. It wouldn't be crazy if you went a little bit lower, but again, I would buy here personally if I was looking at this thing. You're at low points, relatively speaking. You bounced off your 618. You're also at relative areas of significance based on this thing's existence, right? At these previous areas of resistance here, previous areas of support. Perhaps you do go a little bit lower, but I don't think you'll go below 9 cents or 8.9 cents. You could go below 10 cents again, but not too much lower. So. And the 4 hour looks pretty sad, pretty bad. I think you move up soon, man. Look, you're right here where you bounced before. All right, let's put a line there. Let's put a line right there, right? Bounce there, bounce there, bounce there. Man, you don't go below this, do you? You just don't do it. Not only do you not do it, you've never done it. Oh, a little bit there. There you go. But just a little bit, right? So even if you go lower, it's not going to be by much. I don't think you're going to break that low. So, in fact, I feel confident right here that you're at your low. You're going to move up right now. You're going to do good. And your next target area would be, in my opinion, around 14.5 cents. Probably up at the areas here. Above this high, but maybe not above this high. So actually, I'd say anywhere from 14.5 cents to like 16 cents. That's solid gains, man. We're talking like 40 to 60% gains, kind of. ALU, Altura. Oh my goodness, you guys. I cannot tell you how good I'm going to sleep tonight. Oh my God. I want to be clear too, man. I feel like I've been saying this week that I've been busy. Like I say that, right? But I've been busy with a lot of family things, guys, right? Like it's not a lot of work stuff. This is like the most that I'm busy with as far as work stuff goes right now, like the past couple weeks, but it's been a very busy family thing. Like that's more important. I can get away from work. I can respond to comments during work, you know, but I'm not going to be on my phone when I'm hanging out with my family and living life, you know, like not that it's, I mean, yeah. Anyways, guys, ALUU Altura. Yeah, you're gonna go lower. 2 cents, 1.67 cents down there. We'll see you down there over the coming weeks, coming months. You might see some relief right now. It wouldn't be crazy to bounce in this area. Maybe you go a little bit lower first, around this 0.5. It really wouldn't be crazy. You're doing all the textbook things, man. You could genuinely find support right here at the 0.5. Move up to your 382, find resistance, and then work your way down, right? And that could happen sometime at the end of July or August, looking at the maneuver the way that it is, the way that your trajectory is. I mean, it makes sense to me, man. Maybe it's more like this. I don't know. At which case, you would be geared to August to be down at that 2 cent or lower area. But I think 2 cents, 1.5 cents, that's where you're, or is it 1.67 cents? That's where you're moving ultimately. Don't be surprised if you move up from here, okay? But I wouldn't think that you move above like 3.7 cents, right? Personally. ALU. I do think it's going to move up soon, okay? But first, I think you interact with that 0.5, and then lower. I don't think that's your low. I think it's a momentary low. Just like this was a momentary low, that's a momentary high. You're going to do a move like this, but now it's down here, and then lower you go. That's my thoughts. XEC for eCash here, man. This one. I think it's great that eCash is a crypto. Like somebody named it crypto eCash. I think that's like an obvious name. Just makes sense, right? Because eCash used to, I would wonder if the people behind this are the same people that were behind the original eCash before crypto was ever invented. I don't know anything about this project. Oh, but the way it looks, I'm a little bit disappointed that you didn't hold the 618 area, man. Oh, that's sad. Oh, that's not a good look, I'll tell you that much. The only saving grace that you have is you're in this overall accumulation range. So based off of that alone, I'm not expecting that you'd go down here. But looking at your fib, the way that it looks, generally I would call for extensions, right? That'd be new lows. I don't think that's going to happen. I actually think you're very near your lows, and this is one of those very rare instances where you break the 618 on your first attempt, And I think you're going to hold your 786 to 886 area. You're going to go down to 4 zeros 265 to 4 zeros 22, somewhere in that zone. You might not even go that low, but lower nonetheless is what I think you're going to do. Let's look at the daily. It just looks so bad. Yeah, it looks so bad, man. I think you're moving lower. Yeah, if you move up just like the rest of them, right, it might be a lower high. Like, I just don't get too excited, right? But I do think it's moving lower. That's XEC. Let's talk about SWE. SWE. That's what we Americans say when we're calling pigs. SWE. Some people might be like, that's not how you do it. It's like, SWE. Like, everybody does it differently, man. They do at state fairs. They'll do, and I'm sure they do this all over the world, like things similar to this, but they'll do like pig calling contests, or county fairs, maybe not state fairs, but county fairs. Anyways, I'm sure they do it at state fairs too. I don't know, man. Never been to a state fair. I've only been to a county fair. Low to high here. Or maybe it's a county state. It's been a long time, man. It's been like since I was a kid. 382 rejection, 61869. I would expect that you go lower. Sweet. They're calling for you. Down at 72 to 63.5 cents. That's your target area. That's where you're going. You're going lower, and it's no surprise to me because it's one of those coins that, like, it's on every. It wasn't a coin that anybody had faith in, right? Nobody talked about it until here, and now everybody talks about it and thinks that this thing's going to go to the moon, and it probably does. It probably does well. It does seem like a decent project, and it seems like it has the right hype behind it. But you've got to understand that you're in a position where you're just consolidating right now, and you can go lower, and that's okay. That's totally normal, right? It just comes down, and then it moves up. Like this is not so bad after all, right? Just give it time. But for now, lower. I definitely do think you're going lower. 72 cents to 63.3 cents. That's my thoughts. Caspa. This one deserves its own video, man. It really does. I'm a little bit ashamed of myself for putting it in here, but we're going to put it in here. Shout out to Bobby C if he sees this one, man. 15 cents. Rejecting the 50 area. It's not confirmed. It kind of is. If you get some more separation, it looks like you want to go lower. Low to high. Calling for a 13 to 12.4 cent price, and we'll see how you do. I kind of would expect that you hold that area for support, but that's what I got for Caspa. NPC for Marco. NPC. Non-playable coin. Do they have the PC coin? The playable coin? I guess it'd just be PC, not PC coin. It's like ATM machine. What do they call that? It's not a double entendre. What do they call that? Just dumb. I don't know. Not accurate language. High to low. I like it. Yes, it looks like you're doing somewhat of like a double top, right? It looks like this infamous M pattern is about to ensue, but I don't think it will, man. I think you're moving up to 3.5 cents. Yeah, 3.5 cents, 5.32 cents. I think you're moving up, man. Yeah, I think so. I wouldn't even be surprised if you move beyond 3.5 cents, right? Somewhere in this range is where I think you're going to go, or higher. You know, maybe inevitably you go up there higher, but you probably have, you know, stair steps along the way as you've been having. Yeah, it looks good. I think it wants to move up, man. Yeah, it looks great. Phenomenal. If I'm wrong, get below 2.1 cents. If you get below 2.1 cents on a closing basis, well, then you're probably going down to 1.4 cents or lower. So that's the best I got for NPC. Let's talk next about ONDO. This one is a little bit more specific. Casey, you wanted me to go over the July, like up to July and then beyond 2024 kind of price action. So it's going to be harder to do, but I can say based on this daily that I think going into July, I actually have July written here. I don't know if it was into July or at the end of July, so I guess we'll just go over both. But I would expect that going into the end of this month of June, going into July, you're probably going to be around these prices here at 86 cents. If it's not by the end of this month, right, if it doesn't look like this, more or less, something in this area, right, you're If you're not moving down like that, I don't know. Maybe it's like this, I don't know. Then perhaps it takes longer, right? Perhaps it does take longer. If we look at the kind of trajectory that you're given right now, relative highs, sure, lows to lows. This one here, maybe something like that. Yeah, end of June, could be even like end of July, right? So somewhere in that window, perhaps, that you go down there. But either way you cut it, I do think you're going to move down to 86 cents. That's like your directional heading right now. If we look at the 4-hour, yeah, it looks so sad. It looks so bad. Weekly, yeah, you were overbought. You had a nice move. You're just going to consolidate a little bit, right? That's okay. Moved up with less volume. You're going to come back to where there is more volume. It just makes sense. I would bet, man, this is such a hard one. I bet you're moving lower. Relative low to relative high. 61869 is right down there too, man. Yeah, we're just going to stick with 86 cents to 80 cents is like your next target move. As far as what happens by the end of the year, this thing is too new. It's too new of a chart. I'm pretty sure this is that is the all-time history that we have available, right? It's too new of a chart for me to really know. Through 2024, I can say that I think you will be at new all-time highs. Okay, I can say that confidently. Like for the end of this year. From a relative high, no. From a relative high point to a low point, you went all the way up to your 2618 double extension, nice. And then from this relative high point to this relative low point, you went all the way up to your 1886, hitting those deep extensions, man, nice. And then here, high to low, 1618. So coming down a little bit, that's okay. You're looking good. So basically, if you find your low where I think you're going to find your low of this consolidation point, which I think will be around here, we can expect to see $1.70. I would say really like $1.86 to potentially like $3. I don't think you'll hit your 2618. I think this will be a little bit of a bigger range than what you're accustomed to, and with that gives the less likelihood that you would see extensions come into play. Sure, you could see 363. Anything can happen, but by the end of the year, I'm forgetting it's by the end of the year. I mean, maybe you're above 363. I don't know. By the end of the year, the most confident answer that I could give right now is you'll be above $2. That's the most confident answer. And I say that you could be above $4 by the end of the year. It's really hard to say. It's just too new of a chart to really have any confidence in that. If it's confidence at all, it's just blind confidence. So that's the best answer that I have. When I say that, I'm referring to anybody, is that like if anybody's like, I can tell you where this thing's going after this year, no, they're guessing. They're guessing hard because I mean, it looks like it's going up. That's that's about the best that I can say. But for now, it probably is moving down. Wow Nero for Wow BCH. I've got this one pulled up because I can't find it, man. And the reason why, I think, is because it's not something that TradingView has pulled up. But what's cool about this coin, what's kind of unique, I will say, I don't know anything about it. I'm not advocating for it, but what is cool about it is it looks to be verified on CoinGecko for not being on any relative exchanges. That's kind of nice. There's none of these warning signs in this sea of cryptos that just have warning signs. Very low cap coin. You can't really buy it on exchanges. Maybe you can buy it on DEXs, but I couldn't find it on DEX Screener either, right? Wow. Because that's what the ticker is, right? You scroll up, you can see the ticker is WOW. It's not WOW price, that's the price, right? That's the ticker is WOW. I type in WOW over here, and there's just so many of them. And none of them are this one, which is worth 8 cents, right? 8 cents there. None of them are worth 8 cents. I can't. WOW swap, but that's not it, right? And this isn't WOW swap, it's WOW Nero, right? WOW Nero. I don't know. I can't do any analysis on this one, unfortunately. The only exchanges that it's available on, I was looking at this. I got a kick out of this, man. Trade Ogre. Man, the last time I used Trade Ogre, it was like 2018. Great exchange. I mean, honestly, I like Trade Ogre. I wish those guys success. I hope they do well. You know, whoever they are behind this exchange, I think it's fine. They have a lot of coins, but just such low liquidity, man. Not for this thing. Apparently they got 30%, 58%. They got a lot of liquidity on Trade Ogre here, but I don't know what non-KYC.io is either. But they're just not on any big exchanges. That's the one thing I remember about Trade Ogre, man, is you're not going to buy at whatever prices you see on TradingView. It's a lot less liquidity. So As far as what do I think about this coin, I can't do TA on it. I'm not going to do a review on it right now. Might be worth looking into, you know. I mean, it's a Doge-inspired CPU mineable, solo mining only, privacy respecting meme coin. Privacy respecting meme coin. That's kind of cool. It's got Wow Nero, like Monero. It's Wow Nero. That's what it would be. It's like the M. Look at that. It's the Monero M, but flipped upside down. I don't know. It's a meme coin of Monero, right? Inspired by Dogecoin, but I think that's oh yeah, it says it right here actually. Fork. It is a soft fork of Monero. If I just kept reading, then, and I didn't read this before. I promise I didn't know that actually. Wow Nero does not depend on billionaires, shills, or lame-ass influencers. I just kind of like the way they talk on here, man. Like, they don't. It doesn't seem like a scam to me. It seems like these are some real MFs right here, right? But just because they're real, maybe they have their hearts in the right place, doesn't mean it's going to do good. But I will say, if you're looking to take a gamble, man, something that's got a $6 million market cap, I mean, I don't know where you'd buy it, but if you can get a hold of it, I mean, it might be worth it. Trade Ogre, go ahead and set up an account on Trade Ogre, anybody that wants to. There's nothing wrong with setting up multiple accounts, right? Like, you can have, it's better to have access across exchanges in case you want to buy coins like this that are only available on certain exchanges. But I can't do any TA on it, unfortunately. I guess we could look at this real quick. Do the max log. Looks like it's moving up. That's the best I got for you, man. It looks fine. Looks like it's moving up, but I don't know how confident that is. Right? I don't know. It looks good. Looks fine. I think that's your low. I don't know. I really don't know, man. AXS for Sake Tati. Axie Infinity, baby. This one, I think, right? It's doing bad right now, right? No, it's all right. It's fine. A lot of people have given up on this one. You guys, this kind of actually looks. It's not textbook in the volume, but this looks pretty damn beautiful for a head and look at how beautiful that shoulder line is right there, right? Like, even if you take it from the actual highs, it's pretty damn close. You take this down here, like, just look at, it's very deep shoulders, don't get me wrong, it's a pretty shallow head. I would expect you hold support here, though. I would expect you do. You're not going to go too much lower. Right? And maybe it's not a head and shoulders. Maybe I'm just seeing what I want to see. I think you hold support here, man. You move up higher. I'm going with it. I'm calling that. I think you hold support here. Your next move, get above 645. Really, your goal is to get above 850. Sorry, 8. Let's say 858. I think it moves up from here. I think so. I think you're about to BART out of this bad boy. You're about to, like, real quick. Yeah. And maybe beyond. Who knows? But I could be wrong. If I am wrong, well, then this is not an inverse head and shoulders. It's an odd-looking one if it is. Even if it is an odd-looking one. But if not, then, well, you're probably going to go down to about $4.75, $4.80, something like that. That's the best I got for AXS. Let's now talk about KIZUNA for MatMac. Nope. What is it? Is it KIZUNA? KIZUNA. It's not on, so it's only on DEXs? Is that right? Okay. For some reason I thought it wasn't. KIZUNA. Huh. Did something happen? I thought it was available on more than just one form on the DEX here. It's fine. I think it's fine, man. Low volume, you're at your consolidation point. When the volume comes in, you're going to make your breakout, right? Which way is it going to be? I don't know. It could be down, actually. I said you're fine, but I might have lied. I might not be accurate there. Daily RSI looks gruesome, looks sad. Looks bored, but actually, to be completely fair, it's not. Generally, this look where you don't see the oversold zone being hit is nice, but the amount of time you spent under the 50, even under the 40 area, you can see that it just caused you to bleed out. You're at an area now where you need to hold support. Looks like a 1, 2, 3. It almost looks like a quadruple bottom, which doesn't exist, but to be completely fair, it's also higher lows. So I'm not convinced that it's moving lower just yet. I am worried. I'm a little bit worried, I'm not going to lie, but let's pretend that it doesn't move lower, okay? And if it does, by nominal amounts, not lower than this level, but by insignificant amounts that we would care about, right? That if you found out it went that much lower, like a little bit lower from here, it just wouldn't matter to you. But the next target area would be 70s1679, so 168. You want to get above 70s2738. That would help me solidify the idea that this is a low. You want to get above there and stay above there. If you don't stay above there, it's fine, but it's nicer if you do stay above there. But really, the immediate target is 70s1683. Okay, so that's KIZUNA. I do think it's going to move up. And if I'm wrong, well, that's not good, actually. It's really not good at all. CVX, convex finance. All right. Okay, let's see. Is this the right one? A little bit more data there. No, we don't need the brush. Such a weird chart, man. I don't know. You're in an accumulation phase. You're at the lower ends of that accumulation range. It's probably a fine time to buy. You're showing inconsistency in the way you're moving, though, right? You have indecision candles, big wick to the downside, big wick to the upside. This just means I don't know. And being at the low points, that doesn't bring confidence in my heart, but I do think you move up. You probably do. I don't know. The target area, the next target area would be probably somewhere around here, or around here. So you've already interacted with that. So I'd say 495 to 755. It's a big range, but you're at 311 now. When will that happen? I don't know. I don't feel too confident as to when it'll happen. The weekly RSI looks somewhat productive right now. Just don't fall here. You want to keep growing like immediately. The daily RSI looks nice. So I do think you move up. Relatively speaking, let's get a price action here from high to low. 1618 lining up with that key area, 1886 lining up with that. So really, next target area is 375. You're at $3.11 now. Let's see how you do with that. You probably break through that, and then $5.41 to $7.60, something like that. That's where you're going. So that's my best guess. Fetch.ai. I feel like I've heard negative things about this recently. Not like real negative things, just like people having despair, right? And of course, because you were all the way up here at $3.30, you went as low as $1.12. Of course, you're going to have some despair. Even if you bought all the way down here, you might be like, oh, what's happening? But look at the chart. It's phenomenal. It's one of the best charts in crypto right now, you guys. For this cycle, it's phenomenal. It's doing great. It's nothing to worry about, not even close. You could go lower, and it's still great. I know you don't want to hear that, but you could, and it's still fine. Higher lows, higher highs. Volumes dying off as you're moving down. I mean, you're fine. Lower lows in the RSI, higher lows in the price. You're doing great, man. Not worried about this thing at all. Found support above your 618. It's beautiful. The thing is nobody cared about Fetch.ai until it was up here. So you're all discouraged because you bought up there, right? So if you're one of those people who bought up here, don't be discouraged. These people were in the same boat. These people were in the same boat. Just give it time. It'll come back. I do think that Fetch has more to grow. Okay, I definitely do. Where's it going to go in the immediate terms? Double bottom on the RSI. I love that, man. With some bullish divergence. That's beautiful, actually. That's a nice setup right there. Where'd that divergence form? You had your move already. Okay, so high to low. Oh, did I see? Yeah, that's nice. Okay, you're breaking below your 236. That's not as nice. But we've been seeing that lately. I don't know why. Because how I do fibs, you hold, if you reject the 382, you hold the 236 and then you move up. If you give up the 236, you're moving down. But I've seen it a lot where you will give up that 236 and you'll hold just below it like you're doing right now, and then you'll move up. So I'm not forsaking this, right? You gotta be strict with your rules. You have to be concise with your rules, right, and know them. But you have to be open-minded enough to notice when the rules are being tweaked, right? Certain environments, certain times, certain phases of any chart's life, the rules might be the exact same as they've always been, but instead of bouncing off of this area, now you're bouncing off the oversold zone. Or like you don't even get into the oversold zone, you're bouncing off that. I don't know. That might be a poor example. Instead of bouncing right off the 236, you're bouncing just below it. You're holding that area as significance for whatever reason. But All I'm trying to say, I don't know if you're doing that here. You could go lower relatively immediately, but I do think you want to go higher. Next target area is 224 relative to where you are now. I suppose you could move down. You're at $1.39, maybe move to $1.31 to $1.27, somewhere in there, and then you move up. It wouldn't be crazy if you did that. Yeah, a little bit lower and then higher. But if not, maybe you hold this as support and you're moving up higher. Either way, I feel most confident saying that over the weeks to come, you're moving up toward 224 to 244. 224 to 244. That's fetch. GALA. If it's GALA, why isn't it GALA? If it's GALA, I mean, that makes more sense. GALA. I don't know. Anyways. Let's see, higher lows, lower lows in the RSI, higher lows in price, looking fine, finding resistance at areas that you would expect to. Had a little fake out, that's okay. Big rejection because of it, that's okay. Relative low to relative high. At your 61869 area, I do think you found your low, my friend. I think you have. You could go lower. You're at your, I feel like I've been saying that this whole video, and I feel bad. I just go with my initial reaction. You could go lower. The way the RSI looks, you could go lower, but you also do have hidden bullish divergence. I think that's important to note, which means, I mean, and being here, not just at the 618, but relative to what you've seen on this thing's like existence, previous area of resistance here, somewhat of an area of support back here, right? And it's a higher low. Like you really could find support right here. You don't need to be oversold to move higher. Bullish divergence, kind of. No, not really, but you've been oversold for a second. Maybe you do go lower. Maybe you do go a little bit lower. Okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong to say that you found your low. I'm sorry. Low to high. Perhaps you move down to 2.4 cents to 2.2 cents. I like that 2.4 cent area, but maybe you move down to 2.2. You're at 2.7 now, and then from there up. I think you're very close time-wise, maybe just not, and price-wise, because either way that's pretty close, but a little bit lower and then up. If I'm wrong on that, cool. Then I was right initially, but I'll be wrong because I've changed my call to lower first and then up. But I do think you're on your way. Your next interaction, you're probably actually not going to do this, right? Each time you've had your higher highs, it's been like that. I say each time, it's only been 2 times. You're probably not going to see that on this next one. I would expect that you actually find resistance in the form of a lower high. Then you come down, you find support in the form of a higher low, and then you break out, okay? But for the time being, let's just focus on lower prices, and then from there you're probably going to move up to 4.1 cents to 5.5 cents, something like that, over the weeks, over the months to come. That's GALA. Let's talk about ABT. For Big Daddy Chet, bro, we're at the last. We're at the end of it here. ARB, or ABT, I'm sorry, ARC block. Right, this is the one, I'm pretty sure. Coinbase. Wow. Wow. Yeah, man. It's a very bullish chart. That's what it is. Dude, you've cooled off so much. You were so hot on your RSI. You've cooled off dramatically, okay, going from these deep overbought zones all the way down to your 50. But holding higher lows, like what the hell? Like, dude, you're in a good position right now. Like this, I don't know. You could break down from here. It's possible. Let's look at the daily and see. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I'm having a hard time. See, if you go lower, then all that wow, all that amazement I had, that goes out. I mean, it doesn't go out the window because it's a phenomenal move, don't get me wrong, but it would turn into, okay, you're probably going to consolidate, right? You're going to look like Solana. You're going to look like Jupiter. You're going to look like Fetch.ai, where you consolidate for months, and everybody gives up on you, but then right as that happens, that's when you're about to move up. Oh, man. You're at an area that would make sense to bounce, but we don't have the confirmation of that yet. I'm going to go not with my emotion, but with what I actually am looking at in the charts, which tells me you're at $2.67 right now, essentially. I believe you could move down as low as 92 cents over the coming months. You might hold that $1.70 area. You might, but lower. You've got about $1 or more to go to the downside. And that's probably going to happen immediately. I would, and not that you're going to get there immediately, but you're going to start to see some more downside immediately. That's my genuine opinion. I hope I'm wrong. Because if I am wrong, then dude, you're about to grow a lot, but I don't know if you're going to. I personally don't think you are. Yeah, because you have been growing a lot with not a lot of volume, to be fair. It's going to give it all back. It's going to go down. I would not be excited. As of now, you are in a place, to be completely fair, where things could turn around and it could be very exciting. But I'm going to be blunt. I would not be excited right now for the coming months for ABT. That doesn't mean that it's done for the cycle. It just means it's going to take a multi-month break, right? And that's very normal, even in a bull cycle. PNG, last one, pangolin. Pangolin. All right, low to high. 23669. Nice, man. It's not common to hold the 236, but you're doing it, aren't you? What about the relative one here? This low to high here. 382, tipping it. Hey. What about the inverse, the inverted one? I like it. I like it, pangolin. I like it. You're consolidating. Okay. Horizontal channel, more or less. You get above 65 cents, and then it's on to the upside. I think you found your low. I think you're going to move up. Daily RSI showing bullish divergence. It's there. You've had your move already, but you're right below the green line. I wonder, man. Let's throw this. Let's get this back up on here. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put on, I'm going to change it manually. Do the 123 with the 123. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I think you found your low. I think this is perfect. I think you're at the low of this range. This is a perfect area to buy. I don't know if you're going to break out. You could break out on this next attempt, right? You've had 1, 2, 3, and a long kind of 3 at that. A lot of time up here. Interactions with this area, not the pink line specifically, but the area around the pink line. I wouldn't be surprised if you broke through it on this next attempt. And that could look like this, right? Where you move up, you consolidate kind of like you did this last time, but you break up instead of breaking down. So I like this. I actually really do like this chart. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't feel confident in giving it a proper price prediction. We can try. Relative high, all-time high to the low, relative low of this range. You're at 37 cents. Next target area would be, okay, technically the next target area is 59 cents to 63 cents, technically. But $1.10 to $1.54 is what I'm looking at. Or beyond that, man. Like, really? I don't know. We'll see. I'm curious right now. Hold on. That's nuts, right? They're like mimicked moves. Dude, you could see some crazy prices, right? This thing could 10x. This thing could 10x over the next 2 months. Okay. This is our winner. Big Daddy Chet. I don't think you've ever done a request, but buddy, you just won tonight's analysis. Right? I always announce a winner. And I think this is the one that has me the most excited right now is PNG. What's its market cap? Before I do the thing that I've been doing this whole video, which is saying things and then redacting them after I give them some more consideration. No, that's, yeah, dude, you can grow. You can see a lot of growth. And this is a coin that a lot of people are aware of too. Should I buy some pangolin? I don't know, man. It actually looks pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Winner, without a doubt, this is the winner, man. I have no doubts that either by the end of the summer or sometime in fall, you're going to be well above $1, if not even well above $2. It looks really good. It actually does look really good. Up, 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 baby. And if I'm wrong and you move down, on the bright side, we're at the low points now. We'll know that before long, right? Because then likely you wouldn't get this bounce here, right? Which means in a short amount of time, we'd actually keep moving down. And if that happens, that's okay. You know, you can still look for a higher low. It's just everything that I got excited for. It's not that it's not there. It's just it's not there right now. It'd be there, you know, sometime later, probably. Anyways, that's all I got to say. If you guys like the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more. Congratulations, Big Daddy Chet, with the winner tonight. I got nothing else to say to you degenerates, so I will see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.